think if we had to say what the current state is, we have a very solid core group of coaches. I think when I came in, that's one thing I wanted to focus on was getting the coaches right first. And we have fantastic coaches now who are out recruiting great kids, and it shows. We're competitive in nearly every sport, and that was the first focus. The second focus of mine was trying to upgrade the facilities, and we're in that phase right now where we're trying to upgrade our outdoor facilities, indoor facilities, and potentially have a major upgrade in years to come. But I think we're in a pretty good spot right now in terms of the athletic department. Our men's soccer program is headed up by Carl Clark. He's been here 6 years. He's made the regionals 2 out of the last 6 years, and he always puts on a competitive team. Women's soccer, we just hired a brand new coach, Danielle Pierce. She comes to us from Royart High School. She's a former NCCC player. She played softball for me. She also played basketball here and soccer here in the past. So I think it's important we brought in an alum, and I think that program is in a really good spot right now. The volleyball program, Lindsay Matikosh is going to take over the volleyball program. Joe Dagler was the head coach. Lindsay was his assistant. Joe has stepped down now. He's going to be a volunteer coach, and Lindsay is taking over the program as the head coach. So I don't see much of a drop off there. She's a fantastic coach. Men's basketball, like I said, is Bill Beeline. We're in great hands with Bill. We're lucky to have him. He won 20 games again last year, made the Final Four in the region. Nate Butel is our women's basketball coach, won over 20 games last year. He's been named Region 3 Coach of the Year as well. Our wrestling coach is Keith Mowdy. Keith has been here 4 years now. He has been Region 3 Coach of the Year 2 of those 4 years, and the wrestling program is in very good hands with him. And he also has Eric Knudla, who is a volunteer coach and still helps out and helps with the program. The baseball program is headed up by Matt Klingersmith. Matt's one of the best coaches in the area. Matt has taken the baseball team to the NCCC World Series 3 out of the last 6 years. He has been named Region 3 Coach of the Year and continually churns out great athletes who are moving on to the 4-year level. The softball program is headed up by Nate Butel. He will coach both the women's basketball team and the softball team. And the golf team is headed up by Matt Oleski, and it's both male and female golf. I think historically our best sport has always been wrestling. Wrestling is one of the sports that we are generally, if not the regional champions, we've been number 2. We have 19 regional championships to our credit. The next on the list has to be baseball. Right now baseball is a top 10 ranked sport nationally. They've been to the NCCC World Series 3 out of the last 6 years, as I said. Then men's and women's basketball, who have both won 20 games the last 2 years, and women's volleyball as well. That's been to the Nationals 2 times over the last 5 years. So those are our 5 core programs that I think are the most competitive that we have. The 2 soccer programs are getting better. The golf program is more competitive. We qualified golfers for the Nationals last year. So things are looking up in all the sports. We're competitive in everything, but those 5 that I mentioned are probably our core programs. We are not up with some of the other junior colleges that are out there in terms of their facilities, in terms of the turf stadiums, in terms of what they have. So we had to make sure we did everything else right. I wanted to make sure we had a solid coach in place. I wanted to make sure that the educational environment was right for them here, and that everything has to fit. And that's what we tried to take care of the small stuff first, get the coaches in place, and now I'm hoping that we can improve the facilities and upgrade that, because really the facilities haven't been touched here in 40 years. So I think it's time to do a major upgrade on the facilities and then bring the whole thing together. Actually, it's been fantastic. I can't say enough about that. I am very aggressive. I put forward a lot of proposals. I have a lot of big ideas. They have been on board with me with about 75% of my big ideas. Some of them are ideas that I realize take some time. But I try to come at them with, if we have a problem or an issue, I try to tell them this is the issue, this is what's going to happen if we continue to do things this way. But if we solve that problem and do this, then it's going to be better, and you're going to see results in either enrollment or increased revenue or whatever the situation is. And so far, everything that they've worked with me on has happened. I've asked for some of my coaches to go from part-time to full-time. That's happened. And coincidentally, the full-time coaches are men's baseball, men's and women's basketball. 3 of our most successful programs are full-time coaches that really dedicate year-round to recruitment and so on. And they're buying into it. From an administrative level on the other side of the building with the board of trustees, we have several members of the board who understand athletics, which has really helped me out a lot. And the president, I think, trusts me, which I think is is nice to know that when I go to him with a proposal, he takes into consideration, and for the most part, he's done just about every realistic request I've given him. He's come through for me. When I first came in, we made a coaching change, and we hired Nate Butel, and instantly, almost overnight, Nate, I knew, was going to be a tremendous recruiter. He went out and recruited like crazy, brought in great girls, great talented girls, good girls, and he's won 20 wins the last 2 years. Our girls are moving on now. We used to be, and one of the ways we can tell we're successful is, back when I coached, everyone wanted to play us because it was an easy win. Now we have a difficult time finding games because they don't want to play us now because we're a tough team to play. Same can be said for men's basketball and baseball. We really have difficulty finding opponents because a lot of teams don't want to play us because we're at the top of our sport in those sports. Women's basketball is probably my greatest accomplishment. Also, the resurgence of the intramural recreation program here. We've done a lot to improve the fitness center, improve the hours, improve the program we've offered students. And this semester we're going to offer club hockey as well. We're adding a sport which is going to be completely self-sufficient. The athletes are going to pay to play, but it's just going to add another exciting aspect to the overall athletic department in intramurals and recreation. So those are probably my biggest accomplishments.